Hey, what's going on? It's Joey Myers from the Hitting Performance Lab. What's going on, Miss Toni? So let's take a look at your swing. What I have here is I have one of your swings looped, one of your better ones, and so we're going to watch it in slow motion. I don't know if you've ever seen this before or seen your swing in slow motion looped on film. We're just going to watch it for a couple times and see what you're finding, and then after we're going to look at how your swing is right now, and then where we're going to move with it. So not bad, just initially. I know we're going to be starting to work on getting you some forward momentum. We're going to unweight that bat a little bit. I know I mentioned to you that we'll need to probably go from a 33 to a 34, swing a little heavier bat, because see, right now it's going to be harder for you to swing a heavier and longer bat because you're not doing much in the realm of unweighting that bat, or at least getting some forward momentum, such as a sprinter in a 4x100 meter relay. When the second, third, and fourth legs of the relay, when they're waiting for that baton to be passed the baton, they don't just stand there and wait for it. They actually get a nice slow jog forward, get their body moving, forward momentum, before that baton gets handed to them. Then they take off. You see a lot of Olympic rotational athletes like the hammer throwers, the javelin throwers, the discus throwers. They're all taking forward momentum to get that object and throw it. So we're going to do the same for our swing. Alright, so that's when it starts over. We're going to take a look at your swing. Okay, so we talked about your setup. Didn't want to beat this into the ground, but I liked, obviously we step in with the back foot first. The front foot is stepped out, so we're picking up our coach and looking at the fielder, seeing how they're playing you. Then our hand, then we step in, make sure we're good distance from the plate with our bat. So into the bat on the inside corner of the plate, and then our knob is on our mid thigh. I think we're pretty good with that. And then our hand position, which I like, and most of you softball players tend to be pretty good with your hand position. You're all taught about the same way, and this is a good, solid, athletic position here. The one thing we did talk about was your grip, and I talked to Dad about it, and what I want to see you do more of is placing the handle of the bat where the fingers end into your palm and where your palm ends, so right where that connection of your bottom of your fingers and the top of the meat of the hand, and placing the handle in there and then closing your hand around that. We did that hand test, and you saw that you were a lot stronger there than anywhere else. So work on that grip before the next time I see you, is next Monday, and your exercises that I'm going to be sending here pretty shortly. So that aside, let's take a look at what we see here in the swing. Now, I know most of you softball players, they tend to have you start, at least you did it, you didn't do it on this one, but you did it in the beginning, where you kind of start with that heel up, and then, but this one you're picking it up, putting it down, and then what I like to look at after foundation, after we've looked at how your setup is at the plate, then we look for that front heel to hit down, which you see here. I like to draw a big old oval around your head. And I want to see, from this point, I want to see that head not move out of that little bubble. And as you can see, we're moving forward and down out of that little circle. We want our head movement to be very, very minimal at this point, because we're trying to gauge the speed, the direction of this ball, location, all that good stuff. So it makes this sport hard and difficult, and challenge is keeping our eyes nice and in one spot when that heel hits, and our eyes nose behind the barrel. So let's erase the bubble. Now definitely our head's moving a little bit. That's going to cause the ball to jump. Now the other thing that I want to see is I want to see our eyes track the ball a little better. As you can see, our eyes, or our nose, this is what we like to key in on, is out in front. This is at contact, right? Contact here, the head doesn't move, it just kind of stays out in front. So you're actually making contact out of the corner of your right eye. I want to make sure that we have both eyes on the ball. When we watch TV, we keep both eyes on the TV screen, right? Or our nose pointing right at our target with whatever. If we're watching TV or reading a book, we don't read or we don't watch TV out of the corner of an eye. So the same thing with the dynamic movement like the swing, we want to make sure our nose is behind the barrel. Now, I don't want you working on this stuff until I see you next, because I want to make sure you're doing it right. It seems easy to keep nose behind barrel, but there's a lot of stuff that can go wrong with this. So just work on your grip until I see you next Monday, and your exercises. Okay, I don't want to put too much on you at once. So vision's a little bit of an issue. We'll work on that next time. The next thing, like I mentioned when we were watching your swing, is forward momentum. Now we're just picking the foot up and putting it down, and that's just, you know, sitting back is the big cue that you probably heard your whole life, and what I heard my whole life. But what we want to see, and what we see in when we see in elite hitters that are small and that tend to hit like big ones, is we see a lot of forward momentum. So what we're gonna work on is we're gonna take where your foot starts here, and let me see if I can put a spot. Okay, you pick it up and you put it down just slightly out in front, about right here. And what we're actually probably going to do, and you keep your weight back on this back side, as you can see, is what we're going to get you to do is we're going to get you to actually move your body mass, your spine, your hips, and we're going to get you to actually commit, probably even go a little closer with your stance and not be so far apart, and we're going to actually get this foot probably to get out in this area here. Or actually it'll probably be about in here, but we'll be closer with our feet. So we're going to get our body moving forward to unweight that bat. And what that's going to help with, you know, our hip turn's pretty good. Okay, we're not getting quite through back here. But once we start working some drills and some rotating drills and unweighting drills, you're going to get the idea. So we're very handsy with this swing. A lot of muscle. We're trying to use a lot of muscle when trying to hit this ball, and that's very hard. And a lot of times our body, when we use a lot of muscle, gets tight. Our brain tells the rest of our body whether it's a shoulder or a back. Like with you, Toni, you know, we have some shoulder mobility issues. We have some ankle mobility issues. So that brain tightens up these areas, and even above, like the knee or the hip, and you know, everything up and down, we tighten up. And what that's going to do is that's going to slow our swing down. So what we want to do is kind of go under the radar and not use so much muscle, and just let your body just naturally and efficiently move to this ball without turning any of the tightness on. Get what I'm saying? So we're going to make your swing much more efficient. Arms look good. You're not too stiff with this front arm. We got pretty good back arm here. But I think you're gonna see a night and day swing. When we film you again later, you're gonna see a major difference, major change, definitely in the feel and at your contact point. So work on your corrective exercises, Toni, and work on your grip until I see you next time, and we will get to work. So keep working hard, Toni. We'll see you on the next one.